What's going on, y'all? It's CatholicTrueChurch, and today I'm going to be telling you how I chose my confirmation saint. A couple disclaimers before we start. For one, hopefully I don't look or sound monotone. If I'm being honest, as y'all should know, it takes me several tries to do videos, and right now is one of those times, so I'm going to try my best to smile, but also my face is kind of tired from talking. As with all my videos, I improv everything that I say. So I might be messing up on my words, might be stuttering, might be slurring my words, might be jumping back and forth between things. Please excuse that. And I would really love if y'all could give me some genuine encouragement down below. Y'all should know how much work and time and effort I put into all my videos. I would really love to see that y'all see that. Lastly, y'all, or there's some more stuff that I'll just put on screen. But lastly, I am going to be doing a separate video, how to choose your confirmation saint. Please watch both of these videos, especially if you're going to get confirmed sometime in the future, because in one video it's going to be mainly informational, but by knowing my story, it'll deepen your understanding, give you a different angle, a different perspective of yourself, of saints, and the overall confirmation process. The point is, y'all, I really hope that y'all watch all my content. I hope that y'all enjoy, and I hope that I could help all of y'all in y'all's journey. But I guess let's just get started, y'all, okay? So today I'm not just telling y'all of how I chose my saint, I'm also telling y'all how I chose the absolute best saint for me, which is part of the reason why I'm doing this. I really want y'all to listen to my story and my teachings, because I want y'all to have a similar experience. I want y'all to choose the absolute best saint for you. Ultimately, whatever saint that you choose is best for you, but hopefully y'all could be similar to me, where the saint that I chose was best then, and still best now. And let's get into that. So my confirmation journey started all the way back in fall of 2018, but we're actually gonna fast forward to January or February of 2020. So it's a 2-year process, fall 2018 to February or January of 2020. Nothing really memorable to really say, so that's why we're fast forwarding. But I was supposed to get confirmed in April of 2020. So it's about 3-4 months before I'm supposed to get confirmed, and that's when I decided to start my research. So at this point in my life, I was currently a sophomore in high school, and it's a little difficult to put into words, and this is more for a story for another day. But I do want to mention that how my faith was back then isn't how my faith is today. Let's just leave it at that. That's a story for another day. I remember very distinctly, I was like, I'm gonna take this seriously. No matter how I feel now, no matter how I think I'm gonna feel then, right now, I'm gonna take this confirmation thing completely serious. I'm gonna go fully into it. Whether I decide to leave the faith or whatever my decision is gonna be in the future, I'm gonna take this very serious, because you only have one try, you only have one take to do this whole thing. I don't want to mess it up, I don't want to botch it, and let's say I did leave the faith, and maybe one day I come back, my confirmation is messed up. Point is, y'all, I took it very seriously, and I want all of y'all to take this very seriously as well. Whatever your plan is, I mean, if you're watching this right now, you're probably fully locked into the Catholic Church. But I still encourage all of y'all, no matter where your heads are, to take this seriously. So yeah. So when I first started doing my research, I was doing the tactic of, okay, I'm lacking in this characteristic, let me find a saint with this characteristic. Back then, I didn't see myself as courageous, so I started off with patrons of courage or whatever else. I don't know what I specifically looked up. I do want to mention though right now that back then, I didn't see myself as courageous, but looking back now as I'm making this video, I realized the things that I was doing back then, it took a lot of courage to do. So I think, I was pretty courageous just deep down, and I didn't know it. So I'm telling y'all this, for one, to set the record straight, and two, and we're going to double back on this later on more in the video. We're going to go more in depth about this, but I just wanted to mention really quickly that look, I was looking at a patron of courage, and honestly, I don't think it was the best fit for me. Just keep that in mind. Let's carry on. The first saint that I found was St. George, patron of courage. Looking back, I really don't have any connection to St. George then and now. I really don't feel anything towards Saint George. Next, I found Saint Sebastian, and Saint Sebastian did speak to me a little bit more than George did. Saint Sebastian is a patron saint of courage, military, soldiers, and martyrs. After reading his story, what gave me a desire to choose him, but only to a small degree, what gave me a slight connection to him was his passion and trust in the Lord. Going back into the mind of myself a couple of years ago, that is what I wanted. I desired to have a strong connection with the Lord. Saint Sebastian was a martyr. He fully laid down his life for the Lord. I want to specify once again that it was the passion that I wanted, not exactly the end. Now again, this is just how I felt back then, but just to really defend myself, back then my mindset was the passion. That's all I really cared about. I wasn't really looking towards how he met the end of his fate, for lack of a better word. But still today, I would still not say that. Still today, I still feel that way. / also, if y'all know me, y'all know that I really dislike when people say, oh, I would do A, B, C, D for the Lord. I would lay down my life fully to the Lord, because none of us truly know that. It's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to actually do it. Oh shoot, someone's knocking at the door. Hey guys, so we're good. It's just my package. This is gonna be for a different video, so y'all stay tuned for that on my other channel. Let's get back to the video. But just to recap, once again, I was focused on the passion and nothing else. If I were to redo it again today, I would still just focus on the passion. I don't want to make any false claims because I'm really against that. But once again, to defend myself, it's not that I'm against laying down your life to God. I just do not want to make any false claims. And I encourage all of y'all, be careful not to make any false claims as well. Let's keep on fighting and become stronger every single day so that we can continue to fight for the truth. And one day, if we do get tested, we will show strength in the face of adversity. Thank you. But I decided to keep on going, which again, we're going to circle back on that point, keeping on with the research. But I remember I found a third saint. I don't really remember, but I decided at some point, Saint Sebastian, I'm going to keep him right here, but let's keep on going. Let's keep doing some research. And I actually changed my tactic. I changed the tactic to, okay, so instead, let me find a saint that I actually have something in common with. So I looked at myself and I said, okay, I'm a pretty happy person. I'm a pretty joyous person. So I believe I looked up patrons of joy or something around those lines, right? And I could be getting it mixed up, but I believe Saint Teresa of Calcutta is a patron of joy or happiness or whatever. I really don't remember, y'all. But I do remember doing research into Saint Teresa. I just want to say that very quickly. Or was it Calcutta? I might be getting Teresa's mixed up, y'all. But basically, I do remember I would say the same thing with George. I did not have a deep connection with Saint Teresa either. But what's different about me and Saint Teresa is that I actually did a really good amount of research into her, to the point where I still remember stumbling upon the miracles that are attributed to her. For example, there was a young child, I believe, in the Middle East who was healed by use of a Saint Teresa medal that they wore. So I just wanted to mention that. Eventually, I think I still kept with it. I kept with the line of thinking, okay, I am a very happy person, patrons of happiness. So I found Saint Philip Neri. Let's talk about that. So back then, and still now, or let's just talk about back then. Back then, I was a very joyous person, happy person, always smiling, thing that people knew about me and would say about me. Always happy, always a positive outlook. As well as, I got I'm very joyous. Happy, joy, very humorous. I love a good joke. I love cracking jokes. Back then, I was definitely, a lot of people saw me as very serious, but deep down, I definitely had a more comical, joking side to me that only some people really got to see. A little off topic, but 2 years from that point, people would get to see more openly that more joking side of me. But that's a story for another day, y'all. Okay. But the point is, y'all, okay, I'm a very happy person, and I found Saint Philip Neri, and from the moment I saw Saint Philip Neri, y'all, from the very beginning, he was different, okay? So, Saint Philip Neri, patron of happiness, joy, laughter, humor, as well as armed forces in Rome. So let me tell you a little bit of his story, y'all, okay? So Saint Philip Neri, I'm not going to tell you everything, and I'm going to do a separate video fully about Saint Philip Neri, but he was a saint and a confessor. Well, all saints are confessors, but he did put a very large emphasis on sacrament of reconciliation, also known as confession. In fact, on his very last day, he spent the whole day taking people's confessions and then finally passed on from this world. And he was gifted with the ability to see into people's hearts. The main thing that's part of his story, and that's what really spoke to me, is that, of course he's a saint, but people saw him as a very faithful individual, and who still, they would see him laugh, and he would make jokes. He would love to prank some people sometime. He was always happy, smiling, joyous. He has a sense of humor. Hopefully I'm not repeating myself. And that right there really spoke to me, y'all. There's so much I can say about that, y'all. So going forward from this point in the video, as I'm talking about Saint Philip Neri, I'm going to start to get very passionate. I'm going to go completely off script. Not that I've ever followed a script ever, but I'm definitely going to be speaking from the heart. I'm going to be very passionate, but it's going to be a little bit messy. Hopefully you don't mind, but hopefully y'all can see. I don't know, I think it's very nice being able to speak very passionately, and hopefully y'all can see the beauty in it. Hopefully y'all see it as beautiful. That's how I see it. But furthermore, because I got so passionate, there's so much more I believe that I can say. There's so much more connection. There's so much beauty that I see in Saint Philip Neri's story. But because I was so passionate, I left probably a good chunk of that out. But I do feel like I was able to really get my point across. So who knows, maybe whenever we do another video about Saint Philip Neri, I'll go further into how I connect with Saint Philip Neri, but we'll leave that for another day, okay? But that's what I want. That's who I am again, I'm trying to stay back then. So going into the mind of myself back then. Okay, y'all, so what I'm about to say, I technically already said in the video, but I just really want to make sure that I get my point across that back then, what really drew me to him was that a lot of people, they saw the faith as very strict and very pious, and there's nothing wrong with that, and it is true to a certain degree. But what drew me to him is that he showed people that, oh no, you can still live your life, but you can still love God with all your heart. Once again, I'm going to be saying that in the video, but I really wanted to make sure that I got that point across. That right there is what drew me to him, and that's what I want, and that's what I'm doing. So yeah. That spoke to me because I'm a happy individual, and I want to, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm starting to mess up a little bit. Let me try to slow it down. But that right there, it really spoke to me. That something about that, it really spoke to me. Or not something about that. That sounds it's outrageous to me. But it really spoke to me that, you're able to love God with all your heart, but you're still able to laugh, to smile, to show, to have humor, to have all of that stuff, y'all. That really spoke to me. And that's what the articles that I read, that's what they're saying, that, he shows us that, a lot of people, they see our faith as pious, that you always got to have your hands like this and head down like this. And there's nothing wrong with that. And in some parts, that's true. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But he showed people that you can still love God with all your heart, but you can still live your life. And part of that's my ministry, y'all. What's up, guys? So I really hate to keep on cutting in, but I do really want to go further in that point, or maybe I should say that for a different video. But it's a very big point for me about my ministry. And my ministry is so much different than everybody else's. And what I want you to know about that is that's why I'm making this video, to tell y'all my story, but also it connects to my ministry of why it's so different. For one, I'm a different person. I'm a unique person. I am my own person. But also, I feel that a lot of people, they look down upon my ministry because of how, this is not my words, but people might see it as earthly or very human, or I don't know what y'all would call that, but that's the point. I'm human, y'all are human, and I want to show y'all that it's okay to be human. we should be human. That's what we are. Let us be human. Let us be human, but also holy, if that makes sense. So hopefully I made my point. So yeah, that's why I'm very adamant upon my ministry style and why I won't change it for anybody. If y'all dislike it, I'm so sorry. Hopefully y'all can stick around long enough for y'all to learn and understand my ministry. But yeah, y'all, I'm not gonna change my ministry for anybody. You know, if you don't like it, I'm so sorry. Go over to the thousands of other ministries that are exactly alike. And that's the thing, like I feel like mine is very unique because every other ministry that I see, it's carbon copies, no shade. And I actually want to do something different with my platform. I don't know. I could keep on going on and on about this because I just really want to talk about my ministry and how it's different, but let's leave it here, okay? Y'all, see, let me talk from the heart, y'all, okay? And that is part of what my ministry is on TikTok, on YouTube in general. I want to show people that you can still love God with all your heart, but you can still live your life. You can still have fun. You can still laugh. You can still be happy. You don't have to. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. And in some ways, you do need to give up some parts of your life, some parts of yourself to pursue God. But that's the thing too. A lot of people, they think it's a lot about sacrifice, and there is a lot of sacrifice. Hopefully, I'm making sense to y'all. But the point is, we can still love God with all our heart, but we can still enjoy our lives. So that's what really spoke to me in so many ways. I'm running out of time on my camera, y'all. See, y'all, I was only supposed to talk about back then. I'm sorry. Hope y'all don't mind. I'm gonna leave in these mess ups because that came straight from the heart, y'all. I can't recapture that. That's real. So we're just gonna leave that in. But yeah, y'all. So back then, as I was reading those things and looking into that, surface level, patron of happiness. Okay, perfect. There you go. We could just stop right there. But reading his story, it really spoke to me that he's a happy individual who still loves God, and that's me. That's me already then, and that's also what I want to be in the future. Strive for that. Still strive for more holiness, and that's what we're all called to do. So I did, in fact, choose that saint. Again, he spoke to me so much. It was just, and there's so many things that I just can't put into words, but he was a perfect saint for me, y'all, okay? So I did end up choosing Saint Philip Neri for my confirmation saint. And y'all, I told y'all before, I was supposed to get confirmed in April of 2020. Now, I really hope that y'all peeped it before. 2020 in general, y'all, everything changed, nothing went according to plan. I did not end up getting confirmed in April because of a certain I don't know if I can say those words on here, y'all, but a certain big life event, the Rona, y'all, the Rona, okay? So I do want to briefly talk about some of the changes because it's a little bit part of the story that I want to talk about. So sadly, because of what happened, y'all, usually as a tradition in my diocese, we would get confirmed in the local cathedral, not in the parish. That did not end up happening. I got confirmed in my parish, and then the bishop is of course supposed to confirm us. Sadly, that did not end up happening. I got confirmed by my priest, and just because I know some people are going to be in the comments talk about,
oh, no, tradition.
Talk it up with God, the Pope, and every single bishop in the world, because that, God gave special permission, the Pope gave special permission, the bishop gave special permission for the priests to confirm us. And hey, I mean, low-key, I'm with y'all. That I wanted to get confirmed by my bishop, but the world still turns, y'all, okay? And again, talk it up with somebody else. They gave special permission for priests to confirm us. And again, y'all, I wanted to get the bishop, okay? But sadly, we are unable to do that. So no cathedral, no bishop, and the timing was just terrible, y'all. The timing was terrible because, as we should all know, this all happened during spring break. And I remember I was planning, after we came back from spring break, I was going to ask, for my sponsor, and I do want to talk about that a little bit. I was gonna ask Mr. Mike to be my sponsor. Mr. Mike was part of the teen education at my church, as well as back then and to this day, he is in the Knights of Columbus. He is, I think he's the representative for our church of the Knights of Columbus. I believe he's the lead, you know? And, you know, as we should all know, I keep saying no, but I looked up to him whenever I met him in my religious classes. He just, something about him, I just really looked up to him a lot. And as a sponsor, you're supposed to choose somebody who you really look up to in a religious manner. And so I was gonna ask him after we came back. Sadly, I did not get the chance, and that kind of sucks because I really would have loved for him to be my sponsor, y'all. Okay, but whatever, y'all. Okay. So that's basically what happened, y'all. My confirmation was very unorthodox. I'm not gonna say untraditional because of course we did everything by the book, but it was just a little unorthodox if I'm using that word correctly. But you know, I got confirmed in 2020. You know, I was sealed. You know, what did my priest say? He said, "Saint Philip Neri, be sealed with the Holy Spirit." I'm sorry, y'all. Just saying that out loud, it just makes me feel some type of way. Like that's it's such, again, y'all, confirmation is such a big moment for us as Catholics. I'm sorry, y'all. Just thinking about that, like just saying that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't put it into words. Is that the Holy Spirit, y'all? I don't want to just throw that out, but maybe like that's the Holy Spirit. Like I don't know, y'all. Let me stop. Okay, y'all, so let me start to close this out. Once again, to recap, back then when I was choosing my saint, he fit me perfectly, you know? Like, on a surface level, patron of happiness, laughter, joy, humor, that's me. And then his story really spoke to me. A godly man who showed great strength in the faith, but also he showed humanity. And once again, let me slow down. But, you know, back then, that was who I was, and that's also what I wanted to be. I still, because again, no matter how holy we are, we can still strive for holiness. And so that's basically it, y'all. You know, back then, it spoke to me on a surface level, but then also going forward, I still wanted to strive more for holiness, and of course, still keep my humanity, as I call it. Fast forward to today, he is still a good saint for me. He still applies to me. I'm still, you know, a God-loving guy who loves to laugh and smile and be happy and be joyous. And especially now, because as I told you before, Saint Philip Neri was a bit of a prankster, and so am I. Some of y'all know that I'm a joker, a prankster, messer, as I call it, because I love messing with people. So the point that I'm trying to get across to y'all is that back then he applied to me, and even now as I grow and change, he still applies to me. Like, let's say, for example, I don't want to get too off topic, but let's say I was a musician and I chose Saint Cecilia, patron of musicians. Let's say for some reason I gave up the craft. You know, that would kind of mess things up a little bit. And again, that's for another video. But that's what I'm trying to get at here, y'all, is that, you know, we all grow and we all change. Our interests are going to change, and if we choose a saint on a surface level, such as Saint Cecilia, you know, patron of musicians, let's say you gave up the craft, you know, you lose that connection to the saint that you used to have. That's what I'm trying to say. But still to this day, I still have a great connection to Saint Philip Neri. I still love to laugh. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I love to laugh. I'm a joker. I love doing all that stuff, and I still want to follow God with all my heart. And again, still as I grow, I start to realize, wow, like the more I change, the more he not only does I'm so sorry, y'all. What I'm saying is that not only does he still apply to me, he applies to me even more as I grow. Because, you know, back in 2022, y'all, if y'all remember, he is the patron saint of armed forces. Back in 2022, it was a very big moment for me. A little backstory. You know, my parents and a lot of people, they encouraged me to go into the military. And I'm like, oh yeah, of course, oh, I'm thinking about it. But deep down, truly, that was not me. That's not what I wanted. It just wasn't who I was, y'all, okay? That's not what I wanted to be. And to give a little bit more backstory, I always felt that my life was never my own. I never lived my own life. I never made my own decisions. I never got to define my own self. Everyone else, they defined who I was. I never defined myself. In 2022, I was thinking about it and I decided, you know what? I think I'm ready. You know, going into the military was always everyone else's decision. That's what everyone else wanted. That was never my own desires. But in 2022, I was like, you know what? I think that's what I want to be. I think that's who I am now. And in fact, I was in the parking lot and I was calling my mom, like, Mom, so I was thinking, like, you know, do you think, like, what if I actually did go into the military? And that's a whole other story to get into, y'all, okay? But that's what I mean, y'all. Like, I grow and I change. You know, I'm still a happy person and that still applies to me. But he applies to me even more because armed forces, in a couple of years, I want to go into the military, y'all. And, you know, patient of armed forces, come on, y'all. But I think I made my point. I think I could start to end the video now. Okay, y'all, so it got a little bit messy towards the end, but honestly, we're speaking from the heart now, and I don't want to just keep on saying that, but like that means a lot to me, like to just that shows how passionate I am about this, y'all. So the point behind all of this is that, you know, I am very happy about the saint that I chose. You know, I'm very passionate about this saint. He is the absolute best choice for me, and I hope that all of y'all could have a similar experience to me. Ultimately, whatever saint that y'all choose is going to be the best saint for you, but that's why I encourage all of y'all to do the absolute most so that you can be like me. I think about it sometimes, I'm like, wow, like he was good for me back then, and then now, like, you know, I'm growing and he's still the perfect saint for me, you know? Like, and that's what I want for y'all. I want y'all to have a similar experience. There's so much more I can say, y'all. I just so much more. I'm really passionate about this, but I think we should end it here. This video is already so long, and it is pretty messy. Hopefully y'all don't mind. Again, this is real. I'm sorry, y'all. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but let's just start to close it out. Maybe it'll pop back into my head. But once again, y'all, Saint Philip Neri, the best saint for me ever. I hope all of y'all do what y'all need to do. I hope that y'all have the best experience with your confirmation saint, whether you're confirmed or not. If you're about to get confirmed, hopefully my story can help you in any way, and I encourage you to watch my other videos. If you are already confirmed, hopefully y'all enjoyed. Hopefully, you know, I made you feel something, because I believe, because I can imagine if I watched this video, I would feel. I don't want to just say the Holy Spirit, because a lot of people, they just be saying the Holy Spirit. But I do believe like that. No, that's the Holy Spirit within me, y'all. Whatever I'm feeling right now, this passion, this fire. Hopefully, I can ignite that same passion in all of y'all, confirmed or not. The Holy Spirit within y'all to feel this immense passion for God and for holiness. That's what I want. Okay. But yeah, y'all, I could keep on going all day long. I'm really happy to do this. Again, I really hope that this isn't too messy. As I'm editing this, I know I'm gonna be mad that I'm too close to the camera and this and that. But once again, y'all, this is real. This is coming from the Spirit, or not exactly the Holy Spirit. I'm gonna say my own spirit. I don't want to put words in the Holy Spirit. You know, I'm very careful about that. I really hope that y'all enjoy. Let me go. Goodbye. Good night. God bless. Peace. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I love you all so much. Thank you all for y'all support. Let's get some comments down below. But I love you all so much. Bye.
Amen.